Hey, welcome to another tutorial video for Minish Cap speedrunning. So where we left off last time was we finished the first dungeon in the game, Deepwood Shrine, and now we've exited out into the Overworld, and this video is going to cover everything up to the beginning of the next dungeon, Cave of Flames. So it's going to go through Hyrule Town and then up Mount Crenel. Alright, let's jump into this. So, very briefly before we end everything that in Deep Shrine, at the beginning of the run, you did a manipulation to get a blue rupee from Link's house, and you also picked up a red rupee from Link's house, which meant that you had 25 rupees from the beginning. As you play through the Deepwood Shrine and maybe some bits in right before Deepwood Shrine, you may have accidentally picked up additional kinstones, but sorry, not kinstones, rupees. You may have picked up additional rupees, but you should have a minimum of 25 rupees at this point. Now, it's very important for the Rupee route of this game that we have 25 leaving this dungeon. We need to spend rupees 3 times in this run. And 2 of them are about to come up now, so it is very important that we have the money to do that. So if you ever get to this point in the run and realize that you didn't get the 5 rupees from the pot at Link's house because you, I don't know, forgot to do the manip, you should always do the manip. It's definitely fastest to do so, and it avoids having to do this extra movement here. But this is the backup just in case you don't do that. You can either do this right before the green tube boss, or do it right now at the end of the dungeon. But we can go back into the dungeon and then go onto the left-hand side doorway. And the chest on this side is a red rupee, and it will give us 20 rupees. And that will be what we need to continue. But I'm going to continue assuming that we, I'm on 25 now. I don't need to get this one. This is just a backup just in case you need it. So we're on 25. We have Eslo talk to us as we finish up Deepwood Shrine, and now we're gonna have to head back to Gentari, who's the Minish Elder. So we're gonna roll down here. As Minish, we can roll down through here. We're going to roll around to Gentari's place, trying to do as many rolls as possible to minimize the amount of time we spend walking. This is a fairly long cutscene here, but we just mash through his text. So I've displayed the Rupee route on the left-hand side here, so it shows that at the beginning of the run we get 25, and we'll just keep 25 throughout that first dungeon. We're going to go and get the bottle soon, and that's going to cost 20 rupees, and then that's going to leave us on 5. So you can see how the Rupee route goes in the displayed in the text above me here, where the plus and minus show how much it changes by as you're picking up or spending rupees, and then in the brackets it should have the amounts that you have on you. So for any percent and glitchless, this should always be the same. However, there is one caveat, and is that in any percent, it's very important that we get the 1 rupee at the entrance of Cave of Flames. We need to have at least 11 after the mushroom, and for something that's going to come up later in the run. We're not going to spend 11 rupees, but it's just important that we have that, and I'll explain again when we get closer to that point. But just bearing in mind that we spend rupees 3 times. We buy the bottle, we buy the grip ring, and then we buy the mushroom. And they cost 20, 40, and 60 respectively. So we're going to... we've optimized the above route there to get as many as possible. But yeah, having the 11 rupees is part of an RNG manipulation for... something that's only important in the any percent run, so glitchless doesn't really matter. But also, on the other hand, it's going to be when in glitchless you're probably going to accidentally pick up a 1 rupee anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll get more onto that later on. Right, so Now that we've talked to Gentari, we're going to come out here and we're going to get the bombs. And we're going to talk to Bellari here, and he's going to hand us the bombs. Yeah, so here we do a menu here, we equip the bombs, and then we grow. There are a few things I want to go over with the bombs, but from this point on with the bombs, it's going to be important that you pay attention to the number of bombs you have. More specifically, it's probably better to remember in your head how many bombs you've wasted. From the point here, until like about the beginning of Cave of Flames, you need to keep track of how many bombs you waste. You can waste up to 2 bombs by accident. Everyone makes mistakes in runs, and it's just important to keep an eye on what your mistakes are, and that yeah, you can waste bombs up to 2 times without it affecting you at all. If you've wasted more than 2 bombs, it's going to start becoming an issue, and we'll go into some of the backups you can do to mitigate that. There are more things to talk about with the bombs, but I'll talk about them as we get to them. Things like the fuse timers and glitches we can do to speed up using bombs. We're going to try and mitigate as much time wastage with the bomb exploding as possible. So if we go up here to the top of Minish Woods, like we want to exit out of Minish Woods now. Over here is a bomb wall that we need to blow up. So instead of coming up to here, placing a bomb down, waiting for the bomb to explode and then going through, we can pick up the bomb way earlier, pick up and then walk it round to this guy, and then blow it up. And we're just reducing the amount of time we're spending by doing this. So the movement for this will look like we jump off of this Minish portal here, we roll up a couple times here, and we roll once left to about 1/3 of the way along this bridge like here. But yeah, if you just do directly, like if you do direct rolls up from the edge of this here and then roll over to this spot here, you'll be in a good spot. So here you just place the bomb and pick it up quickly. So you want to just tap R after you've placed a bomb, and then you walk down and you notice that the bomb explodes like as we get close to the bomb wall. It was actually like super close there, so if you want to be a bit safer, you can be about halfway along the bridge there just to pick it up. I was at like really the threshold of how far away you can be and still make it over to there. And also another thing is when we did this, we took damage. We took half a heart of damage. It doesn't matter at this point. We don't care about the amount of damage we take from here to the beginning of Mount Crenel, because we're going to heal at the beginning of Mount Crenel, so you just don't care about how much damage you take here. So that's why we can just hold on to the bomb here. Another thing with the bomb as well is when it explodes, if Link's holding it above his head and it explodes, it fires Link, it damage boosts Link in the direction that Link's facing, so we can use that to get extra speed boosts and to go faster. So yeah, when you're holding the bomb here and you walk down, you get damage boosted through here as it explodes. You get pushed down through the rock thing, and then we can exit Minish Woods here. So roll down and to the left. Now here we roll twice left and then a couple times up, and we roll over to the left here. We're gonna go around this section here, just rolling through this section. And we're going to reach this point here. So this is the first route divergence between any percent and Glitchless. For people who are running any percent, you want to go and activate the Wind Crest here. And if you're playing Glitchless, you don't want to. So we'll carry on here like we're playing any percent. So we're going to roll over to here and roll down. We're going to go down to this Wind Crest to here. We're going to press A in front of it and then go through the Eslo text. And then we're going to come back up to here. Glitchless, you don't do that. You just roll to the left and you just roll over this way. And then we're going to go and enter Castle. So and then we've come back to, like, that's just the one divergence there, is just activating that Wind Crest. And yeah, now we've entered town, so we're going to roll up here and we're going to hit this cutscene trigger here. and then we're gonna mash through this text box. That text box there is one of the only text boxes that doesn't matter how quickly you mash through, because it has to wait for the guy to walk through, so you can do that very chilled there. Now, it's important that when you're mashing on these text boxes, we're going to start getting selection options during the text boxes, which means that if you're mashing all kinds of directions, like if you're mashing all directions like this, it doesn't matter for these two ones, but here he's gonna then ask us if he wants us to repeat what he said, and the cursor is going to be over no first, and then the other option is yes. So if we go like this, if you notice, like as soon as the thing comes up, if we're mashing like left and right, it's going to change which option it is. But we want to make sure that we're over the left option, which is no. And we want to press A here. You can also press start to also do the selection. But so for this guy, you can normally mash. You want to mash slightly differently, where instead you'll be like holding B, like mashing only up and down, and then mashing A alongside with that, and maybe some R inputs as well. Right, after we've talked to this guy, and said no, that we don't want him to repeat what he said. He wants us to fuse with him, where we press R and go into the fusion menu and give him the kinstone. It's going to make a cutscene play, but we can skip this cutscene. We can pause the game, go to save, and we're going to save the game, and then we're going to reset the game. Now, it's very important to make sure that this save finishes before you reset the game. But here we're going to do a soft reset, where we're going to hold down A, B, L, and R. So after the... if you're playing on the emulator version of the game, and also on the Game Boy, the original hardware release for it, the Game Boy version, but this will be different from on if you're playing on Wii U. But if you're playing on GBA or on the emulator version, when you start saving, like this, after like a second, you notice that this box lasts for a really long period of time. About halfway through that, you can start holding down the buttons for the soft reset. You can start holding down A, B, start, select. So I may have said the soft reset buttons incorrectly before, but it's A, B, start and select. So A, B like that, and then start and select like that. But you press all four of them down at the same time. So yeah, just demonstrating it here. So we're going to press the save button option. We're going to hold down these, and then as soon as the save finishes, it just automatically resets the game, and then we release to go onto the title screen. Now we want to advance through the title screen quickly, so we mash A and start to just go through it as quickly as possible, and it puts us back at the beginning of town, and it skips the having to do the fusion with the guy, so we just skipped a couple of seconds there of having to do the fusion. Right, so now that we've done that, we want to go and get the spin attack before we can continue. So we're going to roll down over to the dojo here, and then we're going to roll up and then talk to him. Now, this guy is also similar to the hurdy-gurdy guy that we spoke to before, where he's also going to have a selection option, which means that when you're mashing, you're also probably going to want to mash slightly differently, where we only mash up and down, and with A and R like that. And there are two selection options. There's one at the very beginning, then he does like a count. If you notice the text boxes, he counts down like 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3, I don't know, he counts somehow, and then there's another one, and then from this point on, once those two are out of the way, then you can just go back to your regular matching if you want to. Now here we want to demonstrate that we've learned the spin attack, so we hold down the sword and start walking towards the doorway, and then we release the spin attack once it's charged. And we should be roughly in line with the doorway at this point. Then we mash through those last couple of text boxes there, and then continue out of the dojo. Now we want to exit town to the top left, so we're going to roll over here, up a couple of times and to the right. We're going to roll down the middle of town, The postman may get in the way here, so just be aware that like this is a choke point here, and the postman is going to sometimes get in the way here. But yeah, we're gonna roll through town over to this location here. Now here's another difference between any percent and glitchless. Well, actually no, both people who since you're watching this, you're brand new to both any percent and glitchless. But yeah, in any percent, in the more advanced routes, we can do a glitch here to skip this guard. There will be a different video on that specifically. Anything that is going to diverge from the beginner route and incorporate more complicated things that are going to be slightly faster but more difficult to do will be covered in different videos. But they should also be in this playlist. And yeah, for people in glitchless, don't need to worry about this at all. But yeah, we're going to talk to the guard here, so we come up to him and talk to him, and then mash through the text. Then we're going to show him the spin attack, so we're going to charge and release the sword like that, and then he's going to move over to the bottom and out of the way, and then we're going to come over to the left. Now we want to go and get the bottle from the scrub, so we're going to roll over to this ladder here. And this is going to be another use of the bomb. Now we're actually like really close to this bomb wall. So the first opportunity to get to place a bomb down, it's going to like the bomb fuse is going to wait loads of time before it actually explodes, and we're going to easily be able to get the bomb over to where the wall is. So we want a method of being able to reduce the amount of time it takes before the bomb explodes as quickly as possible. So this is a glitch called roll lifting. So people who are doing this in glitchless won't be doing this and want to try and avoid doing this movement if possible. But people who are doing any percent want to try and do this. Now, what is a roll lift? A roll lift is when you are you're going up or down, and you place a bomb and then do a roll a frame after placing down the bomb. And it should look something like this. That wasn't it. Like, let me try and do this again. Nope. Nope. There we go. There's the roll lift. So if you noticed, I did a roll down, and the bomb kind of bobbed up in the air. And also, if you notice the other bombs that I placed down, that I failed to use properly, but I threw a couple of bombs over to the right. The bombs that I placed down earlier happened to explode later than the very last bomb that I placed down, so that you could see a little bit of a time difference between the explosion, the fuse times on the bombs. But yeah, it comes out to about 1 second per roll lift. So if you do get this is why we want to try and do it in any percent. But every time you pull off a roll lift, it saves about 1 second. Now, you don't want to do what I did there and just trying over and over again to get the roll lift. If you don't get it first try, it's no biggie. It's 1 second slower. Just continue the normal method. But yeah, so from here we want to try and do like a roll lift down like that. We pick up the bomb and walk over to the right here, and then damage boost ourselves through this doorway like so. So that's optimally how you want it to look like. People who are playing in glitchless instead will not want to be doing roll lifts. So when you get to this point, you're going to want to press B and then R without moving at all to quickly pick up the bomb like so. Messed this up, but we can in glitchless we can also reduce the time on the fuse timers without having to do the full roll lift. It's not going to save as much time. It only saves 0.3 seconds, so it's not like super important to do so. But as you're picking up, if you place a bomb and you pick up as quickly as possible and then throw it as quickly as possible, it reduces the fuse timer by about 0.3 seconds. It's about 1/3 of a second that it saves. So it will look something like this. So we place the bomb, pick it up and throw it like so, and we can pick it up again and then walk over to there and damage boost through like so. So that's what it will look like in glitchless. Now, I wasted an absolute ton of bombs here, But just remember in your head that you want to keep in your head how many bombs you've wasted, and you don't want to waste more than 2. Now, here we're gonna, if you haven't already done so, you can either menu here or in any of the, like, any point after we've done the spin attack with the guard, you can do this menu. So we're gonna pause, go down once, and equip the shield. And then we're going to walk over here. We're going to trigger this scrub here, and we're going to fire a shot back, and then we're going to stand like below him, like roughly like here. And then, like, as he's getting stunned, like, we can be mashing R to talk to him as quickly as possible. Now, this guy is also going to have a selection option that we want to always do the first option on. Similarly to the hurdy-gurdy and the dojo. So we could just hold B, like mash up and down and A, like so, and then we've bought the bottle. And that's the first use of our rupees. That costs 20 rupees, so we should be on 5 now. And now, after we get the bottle, we're going to roll to the left here. We're going to roll left and roll up this ladder. Now we're going to go to Mount Crenel. So we're going to roll up through here, like so. We're going to roll over to this bridge here, and any time between, like, from the point that we get the bottle to here, we want to menu to the bottle. So we're going to pause, go down twice, and then equip the bottle. We want to equip the bottle over the shield. And we want, so because we want to have bombs and the bottle at this point here. Now, we want to bottle water, and we can bottle water on this bridge. Either by, like, swinging the bottle over the bridge. It didn't work, like, here over this bridge like this, but, like, if you're against the edge of the bridge and facing to the, like, side like this, it will, like, bottle the water. But yeah, there will be a text box that pops up after we bottle the water, so then you want to mash through that. But yeah, so when you like, you roll onto this bridge, you want to either, like, you want to hold, like, up left here, so that you start brushing it, like, after this roll here. So we want to walk diagonally up left so that we're starting to brush against this top of this bridge, like so. And then you can swing the bottle to pick up the bottled water. And then we're going to roll to the left, and it's going to put us here into Mount Crenel. Now we're going to roll to the left and go over to this bean, and we're going to water the bean. This bean is blue because we use the blue water to put it out, to make it grow. But later here on Crenel, there's going to be a green bean, and we need to use green hot spring water. So we're going to head over to that section to get hot spring water. Now I need to quickly just load a save state here because I've wasted a ton of bombs. I've wasted more bombs than are actually usable here. If you've wasted more than 2 bombs by this point, like, and can't continue from this point on, what is the minimum number of bombs you need here? We're about to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need, at this point here, the minimum number of bombs you can have in your bomb bag is 5. If you don't have 5, it's pretty much run over. There's no easy way of getting bombs from here. You really shouldn't have wasted that many bombs. You should have only used 2 bombs by this point. So you could have wasted, you can waste up to 3 bombs at this point and still be okay. And then if you are on 5 bombs at this point, you can't waste a single more bomb. But bear in mind, like, the number we want to think about is 3 bombs. 3 bombs is the number we can waste between now and the beginning, when we get the grip ring. When we get the grip ring is the next best spot to get bombs. Let me just think about that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's definitely 5 is the minimum from this point. You don't want to waste any more bombs. And 3 is the number we need to think about, is how many bombs you've accidentally used. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, we've not cared about taking damage with the bombs as they've like exploded us and pushed us through here. But yeah, you should have a maximum of 8 bombs at this point here. So we've watered this vine here, and then we're going to climb up the vine. I'm going to go to the right and up here. We're going to roll to the left here. We're going to roll like twice, and that guy was like right in the way, but you want to be like roughly in this spot here. So roughly halfway along the climbing wall section here. But yeah, so like from here, it is 2 rolls to the left. Then we place a bomb and pick it up, and then we walk it over to this spot here, and then we get damage boosted through into here. Now, this is why we don't care about bombs. So this is why we don't care about health, is we're going to hit a fairy here. We may not always hit one of these fairies, but we do want to hit one of these fairies. And we're going to get the text box for the first time we've picked up a fairy. So bear that in mind. Every time you come into this cave, you're always going to get this fairy text box, which we just mashed through. And the other things that we want to get in this cave is these 15 rupees as part of the route. So we come up here, grab these 3. When you first enter this cave, you normally like come over to the right and roll like up to like one side of the rupees, and then roll through all of the rupees. And normally all of the fairies are just clumped there, so if you just focus on getting the rupees, you'll accidentally bump into one of the fairies for sure. It's very unlikely that you're gonna not hit one of the fairies. We also have the bottle equipped here, and you may want like have the urge to bottle a fairy. Do not bottle a fairy here. We're about to bottle hot spring water. And we can't have anything equipped in the bottle at this point. It will just be a waste of time if you bottle a fairy. But yeah, after that we exit out of this cave, roll past this guy, roll down a couple more times, going to roll to the left here, roll down to this spot here. We want to roll past this tree here, to this spot here. We're going to pick up the bomb, and then we're going to walk it around here. I'm going to throw it and make sure we don't get damage boost. We don't want a damage boost through here, because right after we exit that cave, from this point on, health is going to be difficult to come by, and we want to make sure we minimize the amount of damage we take here on Mount Crenel. It's going to be really easy to take damage. There's so many enemies and lots of RNG making them move all over the place, but it's going to be very important to make sure we do not take as much damage as possible. We want to minimize the amount of damage that we're going to take here. So yeah, you can throw the bomb into the doorway, and then as like the explosion happens, you can roll like through the plume of explosion that happens afterwards. We're going to roll past these guys, roll up to this spot here. Now here we want to do another roll lift. And in Glitchless, if you're playing Glitchless, you don't want to roll lift here. Very specifically, do not do a roll lift from this point here. But yeah, so we're gonna like be holding up here, and then we're gonna try and do a roll lift. That didn't work. I'll try and demonstrate the roll lift here, but there we go. We grab the bomb like that, and we're gonna throw it to the right. And you notice there how very tight that was. The bomb exploded like right like in midair just before it even got there. So do note that when you're doing the roll lift strat in this spot here, it's very tight. And you may accidentally, the bomb may explode without hitting this bomb rock there. But yeah, if you're doing Glitchless here, you want to do what we did before, where you place a bomb, pick up and throw it as quickly as possible, and then re-pick it up. So it will look something like this. We'll pick up, throw. I messed that up. But yeah, we place it, pick up, throw, pick it up, and then throw it there. And then we hop up onto this portal. Whilst this thing is exploding, you can hop up onto the portal to minimize the amount of time you'll spend waiting. If you try and do the roll lift and mess it up... Oh my god, and I get a roll lift there. If you're trying to go for the roll lift and you mess it... Okay. Do I have any... I need bombs at this point, so we're just going to go through this section again. But yeah, do note that if you go for the roll lift here, and then you don't get it, and then you pick up the bomb, take it over to here, throw it against here. The bomb fuse is going to take a while before it actually explodes, so if you hop up onto this portal and you're mashing R, you're going to start shrinking before this bomb has actually exploded and destroyed this. You want to make sure that the bomb explodes and this gets destroyed before you start shrinking here. Otherwise, you've wasted the bomb. But yeah, when you after the bomb's exploded that and you jump up onto here and started shrinking, you can't skip this shrinking animation here. We have to watch through this, so we're just going to skip through this. We have to watch that. And then after we shrink there, we're going to get a text box here that's going to... we just mash through, and then we head over to the right here. And now we're going to, as Minish, go into this room here. Here's where we're going to get the hot spring water. So we're going to roll up here. Now, if you get absolutely perfect rolls, you can hit 11 rolls in, but maybe you want to count like 10 rolls and then walk up to here. Bottle the hot spring water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I do a bit of like a diagonal movement there when I'm doing my rolls, because all of the movement when I'm not rolling instead will be diagonal movement, which means I'm not moving down as much as possible. It just means that like I can fit all of those rolls in easier if I'm doing diagonal movement there. But yeah, then we come up to here, and then we're going to grow. Now, after we've grown here, we're going to equip the sword over the bottle, and we want to have sword and bombs equipped here. We're going to slash this rupee here from this spot, so we didn't have to climb up the vine at the beginning of Mount Crenel to get this rupee. Instead, we could just like slash from this spot, and the sword hitbox hits the rupee and picks it up. And then here we roll over to the left. We're going to roll over down here and to the left here, and then from this spot here, in this like these like rocky bits on the ground here, when we like roll down to here and then roll twice over to here, here's where we want to place and pick up a bomb. I'm out of bombs here, so I'm actually going to you 100% do not want to do this. I'm just doing this so I don't have to like load another save state. This guy here sells bombs, but because the Rupee Route is very tight, we can't afford to buy these bombs. I'm just doing this, just bear in mind you cannot buy bombs from that guy, because you won't have enough money to buy the grip ring in a bit. So you're going to have sword and bombs here. Just play that guy out of the way. Normally you don't want to be attacking any of the enemies here. You want to just get past them as quickly as possible. But yeah, we like roll past this guy to here. Place and pick up this bomb. And we're going to throw it into this top right corner there. And that bomb explosion is going to explode and blow up this wall. And we can stand in front of this bomb wall, like holding up towards it and trying to do a roll to roll into this cave whilst this bomb explodes. And because the bomb is all the way in this like top right corner, the bomb explosion isn't gonna hit us. It's only gonna blow up the like the entrance and let us to go in. Whilst that's exploding, whilst we're waiting either here or as we get to like the beginning of this room here, we want to equip the gust jar and the bottle. So I like to put the gust jar on B and the bottle on A. Bear in mind, if you dump the hot spring water from this point, you have to head all the way back, shrink down as Minish again, and go and get the hot spring water again. So you do not want to accidentally press the A button and activate the hot spring water from this point. So just be aware from this, in the next couple of rooms, you want to make sure you never press the A button. Also, when we're mashing through the text boxes, you want to try and avoid pressing the A button as well. And this is why we have it on the A button and not the B button. Because the B button, you need to hold it down to advance text boxes quickly. We're going to go into some ESLO triggers here. So that's why we have the Gust Jar instead. So we can accidentally use the Gust Jar instead of accidentally using the bottle and wasting the thing. And that pretty much kills the run. It takes minutes to go back and get the hot spring water. So you want to avoid that. So yeah, with the Gust Jar, we're going to come over to here. We're going to we roll up here, we roll to the left, and we start using the Gust Jar and pull, we're going to pull this mushroom from across this gap. The visual alignment we want to do with the Gust Jar here is we want to line up oh, I jumped over. We want to line up the shadow of Link with the ground like this. We want the very left edge of the shadow, if you notice, like here is too low. As we like push up with the shadow, there shouldn't on the left hand side of Link's shadow, we're watching as it touches the edge of the ground, and here's good. And you can probably go like 1 pixel higher, but you don't want to go too much higher than this, otherwise you're going to accidentally have the risk of falling off the edge. But like anything roughly around here is good. And then yeah, we just hold on to the Gust Jar until we get flinged across the gap by the mushroom, and then we roll to the right and go up here. Now there's going to be an ESLO trigger here, so we can roll to the right and then slide around, like hold down left as we exit the roll, and it will just slide us past us like along the edge of the wall there, and we're going to hit this trigger, mash through the trigger, making sure not to press A. We roll to the right here and then roll down. Now here's another trigger, so we're going to roll down and then walk diagonally down left, and we're going to hit this trigger, and then we're going to mash through the trigger. Keep holding down left again as we exit that trigger, and then we're going to hold down and jump into the tornado. After we jump into the first tornado, we're going to hold up left until we hit the second tornado. You can't avoid this tornado, but we're going to do another gliding section in a couple minutes on Mount Crenel again. That one you can skip the second tornado, but on this one you can't skip it, so we're just going to head directly into the tornado, and then we're going to get flung off the tornado back onto solid ground. We're going to roll to the left, climb up this ladder, roll past this tree, roll to the right here, roll. We don't want to roll down there, but we want to like roll over to this spot here. We want to position Link above, like below this tree here, but it's hard to like visualize, but like Link at the moment, like the three bits of dust directly below Link are like the middle of a 3x3 block of dust that we want to eliminate. So if we position Link here, like at the end of like on the last bit of tile that we can actually stand on, like here. Now we use the Gust Jar, and we're going to remove the 9 bits of dust here, and it's going to unveil a Minish portal here. So we just do that, and yeah, it reveals the portal. We hold down and then jump up onto the portal and mash R as we're jumping up onto the portal. Yeah, every time we encounter a new Minish portal for the first time, a new type of Minish portal. So we had like tree stumps at the beginning, like back in Minish Woods. Here we've got these rock formations, and again later in the run we're gonna see a pot in the town. The first time we encounter these, we have to watch the full cutscene. But then every time after that, if we're just mashing R, we can skip the cutscene and instantly turn Minish, and it saves a lot of time if we skip these cutscenes by doing that. Now here we're going to roll. We don't want to regrow, so you need to make sure that you leave the... you don't press R at all until we've left the Minish portal area. You can have a look at the R button. The R button will either be blank or it will have like this kind of text which is like grow, as we're going past the portal. But then as soon as we walk past, like outside of the range of the portal, it's going to change the text. And when that changes, then we can press R. I was too early there. Yeah, here it's changed, then we can roll, and then we're going to roll over to here. I'm going to roll past these pestos. Now, these two pestos are going to be really annoying. They can stop us from doing this, but we're going to roll all the way up to the top of here, and we're going to grab this green bean. We're going to walk the green bean down. Now, we want to go to the far left-hand side, and we're just going to hope that these pestos are going to be out of the way, and we snuck past these guys nicely. If they hit you, it makes Link drop the green bean, so you're going to have to then pick it up again. If you know that they're going to be in the way and you are going to get hit by them no matter, like this guy's like in the way like this, you can throw the bean to kill them and then pick it up again. If you think that that might be faster, you can go for that. But most of the time, like 90% of the time, you're just going to ignore them and walk straight past them and then out the bottom. Now from here, we walk to the right and diagonal up here. And then like as soon as we get within range, as soon as the text on the R button changes, we want to mash R to throw the bean into the hole. Then we're going to roll down to the right, down to the left, and down again. And then we're going to grow. Now we want to go back to the bean and water it. So we're going to roll up here to here, and we're going to water the bean. It's pretty lenient, the range that you can dump the water on. Like, I was like on the very corner of it as like I dumped the water. You don't want to be like super far away. You want to like try and like get as close to it as possible and then drop the hot spring water, because there's nothing worse than getting to this point here, dumping the hot spring water, and it just didn't water the bean and make it grow. That's one of the worst things there, because you have to spend like minutes going back and getting the hot spring water again. But that's it for Lower Crenel, and then now we're going to head up to Upper Crenel. So we're going to climb up the vine. Now we want to head over to the right. We're going to just roll through this section here, avoid these Tektites here, roll up this bridge to this spot here. Now we're going to use the Gust Jar to grab that mushroom there. That lets us skip this cave here. Intentionally, you're supposed to like blow up a cave there and then go through the cave to get to the section onto the left-hand side of this screen here. But we're going to use this mushroom to do it. This is not a glitch. You are just freely able to, like, this does not constitute a glitch, because like this, it may look like it's glitchy behavior because you're like clipping up onto like a higher elevation or whatever. It's not. These are the same elevation. Just like previously in the previous rooms, we used the Gust Jar to grab mushrooms from across impassable terrain. We're doing exactly the same thing here. So this is perfectly allowed in Glitchless as well. We come over to here. We're going to pick up this this rock here, throw it to the left like so. We got super lucky there, and we picked up a bomb drop, but nearly anything can drop out of this. A rupee can drop out of it. One of the beetle enemies, the little spider grabby things that will grab onto you and stop you from being able to do things. If one of those spawns, that's really unlucky, and you have to menu the sword and kill it before you can continue. That's incredibly unlucky. But the luckiest thing you can get, especially if you're low on bombs, is a bomb drop. But yeah, that's going to be our first bomb text, either at this spot here, or we're going to, when we get to Cave of Flames, there's going to be some guaranteed bombs that we're going to pick up in there. But yeah, after we threw the thing to the left, we like roll to the left, grab this mushroom, and we're going to pull it back here. Now, we're going to pull it back until we see the visual cue. What we're looking is the top of Link's hat, or the very right-hand side of it, with the top of his cap. We're going to watch it as it hovers over this rock here. Like, as Link's moving, it's covering over this, like, there's a little patch on the ground which looks like some rocks, but there's like a light patch and a dark patch to it. We've just covered over the light patch there, and as soon as we've covered over the light patch like that, we can release holding to the right, and we're still just holding R to keep held onto the mushroom, and then we let go like that. We get flung across the gap, and we hold left, and then we land, and we saw how close that was, but we just very, very closely get across this gap like so. We roll to the left, roll up, roll to the left, and we're going to do the second tornado gliding section. We're going to hop into the tornado, just holding to the left. We're going to tap up a couple of times, and then we're going to skip that tornado by instead just landing on the ledge. But yeah, we're holding left the entire time. We just do taps up a couple of times to get high enough that we get up onto we go over the ledge. If we're just holding left there, we're not high enough, so we do need to go left a little bit. Right, here we're gonna roll up, roll left, roll up, and climb up this ladder here. Now, either like during that gliding section or like any point here, we want to equip the shield and bombs, like so. We're going to roll up to this sign here. We're going to roll to the right a couple of times. We want to stop roughly here. It's going to be roughly halfway between, like in this gap here. All of these enemies are just going to be the absolute worst, by the way, and always try and get in the way as much as possible. So just don't mind them. We're going to pick up a bomb here. We're going to walk it over to here. We're going to throw it in front of this wall, and then as it explodes, like we roll through. You can be pretty high on when these bombs explode. So like there, like that bomb exploded like that, and you see how quickly we roll through there whilst the bomb explosion is still happening. Basically, after the initial flash is over, that's when the damage is done, and the smoke plume afterwards is like very safe to roll through. Another thing we need to be aware of is like the P hats here. Maybe sometimes there may just be a P hat in the way here. As like we're gonna try and throw the bomb into this gap here to blow up this doorway, so it may be more convenient for us instead to just keep hold of the bomb and hold it here and get damage boosted by the bomb explosion into this cave, just because of maybe a P-hat maybe here. But this area here is very much judgment based, and it's something that you are going to get a feeling for as you get more experienced in this. But just be aware that the enemies here do suck. And yeah, you want to try and adapt to their movements as much as possible to try and minimize how much damage you take and how much time it costs to get into this cave. But yeah, we want to try and get into this cave as quickly as possible. Here we're going to knock this rock back, and then we're going to talk to him. Now, I was silly and I had to buy bombs lower down on Crenel, which means that I do not have 40 rupees right now. But if you don't buy those bombs there, you will be on 40 rupees here, and you'll be able to buy the grip ring here. So I'm just going to pretend that I've bought the grip ring, and now I'm on 0 rupees. Now, in this cave, here is where you think about your bomb count. Now, if you've wasted at least 2 bombs by this point here, if you waste 3 bombs, you should be on 0 at this point. If you wasted 2, you're on 1 bomb at this point. So I do recommend looking at your bomb count here. And if you're on either 1 or maybe I would say 2 as well. If you're also on 2 bombs, you may want to play it safer. You want to farm bombs in this cave. You can either like pick up and throw these bits of grass to try and get bomb drops. These drop very regularly. So you can either do that, or you can equip sword and gust jar here if you fancy farming the bombs. But if not, just don't bother doing a menu here. But yeah, the bomb drop chance in this room is incredibly high. So you can just cut the grass here and very likely pick up bombs if you're worried about your bomb count at all. And then you're going to exit out of this cave. Now, I've got another save state, which happens to have picked up the grip ring, so I'm just going to do that here. So, we've picked up the grip ring. I've got 3 bombs here. That should be fine for me, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But, yeah, you can... definitely, maybe if you're on 3 bombs here, you may be cautious about like how many bombs you have and decide to also farm bombs. But yeah, now we've got the grip ring, we want to climb up Mount Crenel. So we're going to head over to the left. Roll past these enemies here. trying to avoid them as much as possible. It's probably faster to go to the south there, but there were 2 enemies blocking my way, so I went like around the top there. Just need to look at the enemies and try and avoid them as much as possible, because you definitely want to, you know, do a little bit of a sacrifice, like fractions of a second that I spent there is like going around the top instead of going around the bottom, just to try and maintain my health here, because you want to minimize as much damage as you take as possible. But yeah, we're going to continue over to here. When we hop down here, we're going to look at our health. Now, if you are... this is the lowest amount of health I recommend that you be on here. Definitely if you're starting out doing runs, if you're roughly on about 2 hearts, you want to grab the health that's available here. Especially if you're still like doing the beginner run, you don't want to die here on Mount Crenel because you took too much damage and died. Because it will put you back to the beginning of Crenel, and you lose like 3 to 5 minutes depending on where you died. That is an awful way to kill a run, especially as we're probably 25 to 30 minutes into the run at this point, so it will be a huge waste of time if we just die here. So I do really recommend starting out always going for this cave to get the health, and only stop going for this cave when you feel confident that you can easily get to Crenel without dying. Getting to the beginning of the next dungeon without dying. But yeah, definitely beginning out, you want to be going for this cave as often as possible. But yeah, so we're gonna, when we hop down, we pick up a bomb. We're gonna walk it over to here. We're gonna damage boost through here. Obviously, if we're gonna be damage boosting here, we're gonna take a half heart of damage. So if you're so low that you're like on a half a heart, you want to make sure you don't damage boost through here. But otherwise, if you're going for the health in here, it normally doesn't matter. You're going to take a little bit more damage, so we can afford to damage boost into here. Now, you don't want to get the heart piece because it's going to give you a text box. Instead, we want to hit one of the fairies and then exit the cave. If we just rolled up immediately, we would hit the heart piece and then we would get a text box for you picked up a heart piece, and just waste a bit of time. So just to save like the extra like seconds, we can just walk into one of the fairies instead, and then we'll go up onto health. We'll go up onto full health here. We'll be on 4 hearts. But yeah, because from here on up, as we climb up this wall, there's going to be boulders that are going to just have RNG chance to hit us. And so we have the chance to take quite a serious amount of damage in this section here, and we want to try we want to just reduce the risk of us dying. So you can come here and grab this this for health. But yeah, I don't recommend climbing up here if you're on less than 2 hearts, because these boulders do a half a heart of damage, like so. So if you get hit 3 or 4 times, you're basically dead. Ooh, that was very close. The hitboxes on these guys is really dodgy as well. But yeah, we're climbing like this. Like the vertical, as Link climbs like vertically, he does it very slowly, but like when he climbs sideways, he like shimmies across like super fast. But it doesn't matter too much how we do this climbing movement, but we like do a bit of a diagonal, move to the right, and then like climb directly up here. And this is like the main climbing section of the run over. Now here, we want to make sure that we get to the mushroom that's in the top right as quickly as possible, and we want to roll through these enemies while doing so, and keeping an eye on the right hand side P-Hat and Tektite. We want to see where they are as we go through this room. So we roll to the right, roll up, roll right, grab this mushroom and start pulling it back here. We want to be looking at that Tektite, judging how quickly it's like it will be like doing an animation, getting ready to jump towards us, and we'll also be pulling this mushroom back. We want to make sure that we finish pulling the mushroom back, and get flung over before the Tektite does another jump. If we did this room fast enough, like this, like I believe that this was fast enough, we'll be able to pull the mushroom far enough back that we'll be able to fling ourselves over the gap before the Tektite lands and jumps on us. If we're a little bit slow here, the Tektite may jump and land on us and knock us off the mushroom before we've pulled it back. Now, we're also looking at the P-hat. The P-hat's moving, like, up left, I think. Like, what was the... Yeah, it's moving, like, up left. So the P-hat's going to avoid us here. But it may... the P-hat RNG may be bad, and it may end up, like, gliding over towards us. Typically, the P-hat doesn't aggro us in this room. It's always just wandering around and not really caring about us. The Tektite's the thing that aggroes us. But yeah, it's very important here that we let go of the mushroom at the right time. We're going to keep on pulling back until Link's face turns red, but we're not going to release the instant that we see his face turn red. Oh, this is really bad. Yeah, okay, so we got, like, super unlucky there. I was doing slow motion there to try and have a look at that. But we got super unlucky with that P-hat, and that P-hat actually jumped, like, yeah, okay. This is super bad RNG, basically. The P-hat managed to hit us when we were pulling back the mushroom initially, and then the Tektite was in the way as well. But basically, if you try pulling back the mushroom, and you get hit by the enemies at all, there's basically nothing you're going to be able to do other than, like, equip the, like, sword and dust jar, kill these guys like this, so that we can then deal with it. You don't want to have to kill these guys most of the time, but just if your RNG is bad, you can get hit as you're trying to pull this mushroom back. But yeah, so what we're looking for as we pull this mushroom back is Link's face turns red, and we don't want to look for Link's face flashing red, because if we release now, it's going to have the chance of not pulling us back far enough. What instead we're looking at is Link's sweat. If you notice above and below him, there's these, like, little white effects. That's like the sweat dripping off of Link. We want to see that disappear. Or, like, move once. There we go. So it starts, like, directly over Link, and then, like, as soon as we see that animation change, then we can release the direction, keeping R held down, and we get flung across the gap like so. And as we're in the air, we hold right to make it over to the other side, like that. And then as we land on the other side and we're holding right, we then start holding upright and then roll, and roll over to here, and just hold right again to jump up onto this Minish portal, and then we mash R to shrink. We're going to roll down over to here. We're going to get to this area here. We're going to not roll here. We're just going to walk to the right because there's an Eslo trigger here. So it's really important that you don't roll here because we don't want to roll into this Eslo trigger. Mash through this text, and then we're going to roll through this room here, avoiding these droplets. These droplets deal a half heart of damage. And as you see, when we started, we were on 4 hearts when we started this climb. We've already taken 2 1/4 damage, just because of bad luck. So it doesn't, like, you can very easily take a ton of damage here on Crenel, outside of your control. But yeah, as Minish, we roll over to the Minish portal and grow. Then we're going to roll to the right and down. And now we're going to do the rock pushing section. So we're going to roll down to here. And we're going to push the rock to the left. I'm going to push it up to this spot here. Then we go around this block, push it to the left, and then up twice. Then we're going to go around this rock again. I'm going to push it over to the left. I'm going to push it over to the left until it stops here. We're going to go to the top and push it down once, and then go to the side of it and push it over to the left. We want to stop when there's a 1 gap in between this boulder and the next one. I'm going to go and push the next boulder. If we push that boulder 1 more time by accident, we have to reset the puzzle by shrinking and growing again and then redoing it all again. So we want to try and avoid that as much as possible because that loses a lot of time. Then after pushing that into the hole, we're going to push this over to the left. And then we're going to push it, once we get to this spot here, we're going to push it up. And then we're going to push it into the hole. We're going to push this guy twice to get past it, and then we're going to roll past him and come down this ladder. We're going to roll to the left here and then roll down a couple times. We're going to go to the top block here and push it over. And then we're going to go down to the bottom and then push this over. I'm going to push this one over to the side as well. And here we want to go down and push this block down. This one is probably the one you're going to forget to do most often. But yeah, you want to push this down first. If you don't push it down now, when we get round to the next bit, you will have to go all the way back around to here to push it into the right spot to be able to continue. But yeah, after we push that, we can roll up here and then push this boulder, this block up. I'm going to roll left twice here, go down and right and push that there. And then we're going to push this down, that right, that down, and then that left. And this is going to open up the puzzle here so we can come through into this section here. Now here we're going to go down right and going to roll a couple times here and then roll up to here. Now normally if you haven't done any menus at all, you have shield and bomb still equipped here. So when we get to this room, we want to equip Gust Jar and bombs, or if you've had to use the sword earlier before and had equipped sword and Gust Jar, you want to equip the bombs over the sword. But in here we want to have Gust Jar and bombs. Roll to the left twice and roll up. Push this pot off the ledge, and then we're going to pull out the Gust Jar, and then we're going to tap up a couple of times, and move over to the right as well. Like when we tap to the right, against the rock to the right of us is slightly curved, like the hitbox on it is rounded a bit. So when we push to the right, it pushes us up a little bit as we push around it. But we don't want to hold right too much, otherwise we'll slide off of the ledge that we're on and die. Yeah, we want to do roughly the same visual alignment that we did on the mushroom pulling in the previous cave earlier in Crenel. Yeah, when we get to about here, when we just keep the Gust Jar held down there, and we get that swag kill there as we kill the enemy at the same time as making it over the gap. If you're too far down, you won't grab the mushroom fast enough, and instead the Helmosaur will get grabbed onto the Gust Jar and then cancel the pulling animation for the mushroom. So then we have to fire the Helmosaur to kill it, and then reuse the Gust Jar again. So you do want to make sure you're high enough up, but you don't want to make sure you're too high, otherwise you just fall off the ledge and then have to use the Gust Jar again. Right, now we go down this ladder. Now in this room, we want to place and pick up a bomb as quickly as possible, like that. And we're going to walk down right to here. And then we hit the top of the bridge and then throw it as quickly as possible. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't want to do a roll lift there because we've got the perfect timing here to do that. As soon as the bomb explodes, it's going to extend the bridge. And then we're going to roll down it over the bridge. And then we're going to roll left twice as soon as we hit the top of this this switch here. We roll down to this switch, and then we roll left twice, and it will slide us past here. These enemies are just going to be in the way, but we want to make sure we grab and throw this pot and pick up that red rupee. That is very important in the run, so definitely do not make sure you miss this pot. Pick up, throw it, get that red rupee, and then exit this cave. You should be on 20 rupees here. Very important that you get that. Right, here we're going to roll past this P-hat. Sometimes that P-hat will get directly in the way, but we can roll through it, like so. You just need to judge its movement there. Right, in this room we hold up right, roll up to the top, push this down once, then we're going to push it to the left twice, then we're going to go around and push it down twice, then push it to the left 3 times, and then push this up once, and I'm going to do a zigzag motion here, pushing it up, left, left, and then push this statue up, and then go down the ladder, the stairs here. I'm going to roll twice down here and exit here. I'm going to roll to the left, go down, and then shrink on this portal. You can go to the left and then roll up and then roll to the left. And now here, this is going to be like the last set of enemies that we're going to encounter before we hit Cave of Flames. So you may be on low health when you get to this path. It can be common that you're here on half or a quarter heart. These guys do a quarter heart of damage. So if you're on a half a heart, you can take one hit. If you're on quarter heart, you'll die if you'll get hit by these guys. So you do want to try and make sure you don't get hit by these guys as much as possible. The best route to avoiding getting hit by these guys is going directly down the middle. If we go directly down the middle, we can see these guys. And if you notice that above us are these leaves, and they obscure some of the ground. These evil guys will hide behind these leaves. So if you're like rolling up like here, if you notice like Link's hiding behind this leaf. We had no idea what was behind this leaf here. So if there was like an enemy there, we might have hit it. So this is why you want to avoid touching the top and bottom of these rooms as much as possible. Just go directly down the middle here. So we can go down the middle, like roll through these guys like so. And then it's normally like the first half of that room is where the enemies are really going to get in the way. The second half, they normally like spread out and get out of the way. But then we come out to this doorway here. Once you hit this doorway, you're safe. You're not going to die between now and the entrance of the next dungeon. So we're going to roll to the right here a bunch of times. Roll down here to here. Roll left. And then roll up here. Roll right, down, right, and then talk to him. And this is going to be a long set of text boxes here, so we just mash through all of these. We're just giving them the sword, just so that they will then open up the path to the next dungeon. So we can roll up through here, roll over and talk to this guy from the top. If we talk to this guy from the right or from the bottom, like it makes a Link move out of the way weirdly, but we want to like come and talk to him from the top. And then like mash through his text box. He's going to move to the right, and then we're going to walk past him. We're going to hold up left and roll a couple of times to get to this Minish portal here. Walk to the right, roll up, and then roll up again. And then here we hit the entrance of the next dungeon, Cave of Flames. Now, I'm going to cover the beginning of Cave of Flames as well. And I'm going to cover up to the divergence point between Any% and Glitchless. There is a glitch that happens at the in the first half of this dungeon that will let us skip having to do minecart rides, which we'll cover in the next video. And you don't need to do it in Glitchless at all, but we'll cover everything up to there. So I'm going to cover the first about quarter of this dungeon for the for both speedruns, because they're exactly the same. So yeah, when we enter this dungeon, we're going to get an Eslo trigger here. Now, when you get into here, you want to have a look at your heart count. If you're on less than 2 hearts, which is going to be very common, it's going to be incredibly common that you're going to do this. But we want to get health at the beginning of this dungeon. And a common theme with all of the dungeons in the game is that the first room is going to have 4 pots. Every one of those pots is going to have hearts. We saw them in Deepwood Shrine. It's going to be the same here in Cave of Flames. We'll see it again in all of the other dungeons. But we can grab 2 pots and 2 hearts very quickly by using the Gust Jar. So we're going to hold right. We're going to use the Gust Jar, and we're going to position the Gust Jar so that the edge of the Gust Jar is like in line with the edge of that rock there. And as soon as we see the pots fly towards us, we're going to let go of the Gust Jar. And it's going to it's going to suck up both of the pots. And if there's a pot in mid-air, when like both the pots are going to be in mid-air as they fly towards the Gust Jar, one of them is either going to like get latched onto the Gust Jar, which we then fire out, or if we release the Gust Jar quickly enough, both the pots just break. But yeah, both of the pots break like this, and then there's 2 hearts on the ground, which we can just roll into, and we get 2 hearts very quickly. more as you get better and better at the run, you may end up not picking up hearts at all in Deepwood Shrine, and you probably wouldn't kill enemies and get any RNG enemy drops throughout the run. So those hearts there may end up being the first hearts that you pick up in the run at all. So bear in mind they may have a text trigger on them that you have to mash through. And yeah, you want to have a minimum of 1 bomb when you get to this part here. It doesn't matter too much if you're on 0 bombs here, but I'm going to demonstrate what you want to do if you have 1 bomb. So when we come over to here, you want to be keeping an eye on the RNG movements of these bob-ombs. This is one of the trickiest rooms in this dungeon to do absolutely perfectly because the RNG is pretty nuts. You don't know how these guys are going to move until you get into here and have a look at them. But we're going to go into the top left corner, and we want to try and roll lift a bomb. This is if we're doing any percent. If we're doing glitchless, we wouldn't be doing a roll lift here. But yeah, so for people who are doing any percent, you want to come up to here, do a roll lift there, and then throw a bomb to the left, to the right. We didn't do a roll lift, but you do exactly the same thing if you weren't, if you didn't get the roll lift. When you throw the bomb to the right, it should stop in front of the bomb wall, and as we're waiting for the bomb to explode, we're going to equip the sword and shield. We can pick up the bomb again and like throw it out of the, like, just to the side or whatever, or we can wait for it to explode, and then when the explosion's over, we can roll up into this to this room like so. People who are doing glitchless will want to do, instead of basically generally every time in any percent when I explain you want to do a roll lift, in glitchless it's this. Instead of doing a roll lift, we just do the strat where we place down a bomb, pick it up, and then throw it as quickly as possible, and then pick it up again, and then do whatever we wanted to do with it. So we're gonna we'll throw it to the right, and then you do the same movement here where we equip sword and shield. Bear in mind that there is a bomb drop in this pot here. That is a guaranteed bomb drop. You don't ever need that, but just bear in mind that it's there. But I don't believe that there's any point in a speedrun where you would actually get those bombs. If you're completely out of bombs, it's still faster, I think, to instead of going and getting those bomb refills, instead we can use these bob-ombs by slashing them a couple of times and throwing them in the way. If you haven't got rid of the Gust Jar yet, if you've got Gust Jar and bombs like so, you can pick up a bomb like that and fire it into the doorway like this to blow up this like so. That also works as well. But ideally you want to be doing using your own bombs here. And it doesn't matter if we're on 0 bombs here, we're going to get more bombs way before we need any more bombs. We're not actually going to use any more bombs until we're done with this dungeon. And it's about halfway to the next dungeon. We use 1 more bomb, but we're going to get guaranteed bomb drops after this point anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, you want to have sword and shield equipped as we come up into this room. We want to, as you're doing the screen transition, you want to be holding down. Because it's going to automatically link up to this point here. We want to walk down a little bit before we roll up. Because there's an Eslo trigger here. If we roll up immediately as we hit this room, we're just going to roll into this Eslo trigger and get the delayed trigger, and it's going to go slowly. So we want to walk down ever so slightly before we roll up. And then as this text box is playing, we can have a look at these spiky beetles and see what they're doing. They've curled up into their ball and they've aggroed on us and they're going to be flying towards us. We want to flip them over with the shield. So we're going to be holding down, I have sword on A and shield on B. So I'll just be holding down B this whole time here. But yeah, you want to use the shield, walk into them to knock them on their back, and then it's 2 sword slashes. You can either do 2 slashes like I did on that first guy, or you can just press and hold the sword once. What it'll do is it'll slash and then hold the sword out, and holding the sword out will stab the guy as well, and that happens to do enough to kill him. So it will look like this, slash and stab, and I was just held the button down the entire time there. The best luck you can get is if they both aggro you at the same time and you hold down the shield and like wiggle between them both and like knock both of them at the same time, and like they land like together and you can like sword slash and kill both of them quickly, like so. And yeah, as you're killing them, you want to be moving to this doorway as quickly as possible. We don't care about this chest. This chest is a map, I believe, but we don't care about it. But yeah, we want to try and stand in front of this doorway as the enemies are dying. When we've killed the enemy, like we can like do a roll up here to try and get to this doorway as quickly as possible, so just to minimize the amount of time we're wasting. But then we roll through here. Now here is very important in any percent. We want to make sure that here's where you have a look at your rupee count. We want to make sure we've picked up at least 1 rupee by this point, a single rupee, a green rupee. If we have a look at our rupee count, and there's a 0 as the end digit, we've definitely not picked up a single green rupee. Because it's incredibly unlikely that we've picked up 5 single green rupees, and if you've picked up 5 single green rupees, you'll probably remember that you've picked up at least 1 green rupee by this point, if you're also on, like, if you look at your rupee count and there's a 0 there. But yeah, we want to hit one of these green rupees. For any percent, as I said earlier in this video, it's very important that we have 11 rupees at a minimum at a point later in the run. So this is very important that we pick this up. Glitchless, it does not matter at all. However, it's still probably going to be in your best interest to get one of these rupees if you haven't already done so, just so that in Glitchless, you're going to be killing lots of enemies later on in the run, and they're just very likely going to be dropping rupees. And you're very likely going to pick up green rupees later on. And if we're going to pick up green rupees later on, we're going to encounter the text box for the first time that we encounter a green rupee. So you want to get that out of the way here when you're expecting it, instead of being in the middle of a fight or something in Glitchless later on, and then just have a text box just pop up and scare the hell out of you or something, and you just react badly to it or whatever. So, you know, it's just a good idea to just like roll here and just like be aware that when you hit this green rupee, it's going to is going to give you a text box. Now, bear in mind that this guy here, this middle bottom green rupee, it's actually a like. So like you can like roll into it, but yeah, it's going to try and grab you. You don't want to get grabbed by it. That's very bad. But yeah, when you first go into the room, like you can roll towards it, and as it like deploys, it cancels your roll, which is pretty nice, and then you can like roll again. Like I was holding left there, so this is a bit more of like a fancy swag strat, but yeah, like you can use that guy to cancel your roll. I'd like you to roll twice towards him, and then like as you hit him, you roll up, and then we come down the stairs. Now here, we want to roll down and then roll past this bob-omb. We do a little bit of a walk there so that when we roll through the bob-omb's like right in the middle of our roll. We roll right through it and don't get hit by it at all. And then this guy can get in the way as well. Both those bob-ombs there are RNG, so you just need to spot them and see like how can I make this roll through him without him getting in the way. And I'm going to roll to the right here, roll down a couple times, roll right. We're going to roll here. We're going to roll up once, and we're only going to roll up once because there's going to be a trigger here right before we hit this minecart. Mash through that, and then start riding the minecart. Now, when we ride the minecart, we want to pause and equip the gust jar. You want to make sure that when you do your sword and shield equip, earlier in the dungeon, you always leave the cursor on the same. Like, it doesn't matter if you leave the cursor on the sword or if you leave it on the shield. But you always want to make sure that you equip. You leave the cursor on the same one every time, so you can build up a muscle memory of always getting to here and knowing, Me personally, I always leave it on the shield, so then I know that I can tap upright to get to the Gust Jar. So I'm already thinking about the menu before I'm even pressing the start button when riding this minecart. I know, right, I'm doing this menu to equip the Gust Jar. I want to equip the Gust Jar over the shield. The cursor's already on the shield, so I've known that before I've even, like, done the pause. So, like, I can do that. Like, as soon as I pause, I press upright and equip the Gust Jar and then unpause. But yeah, so you've got like free time during this minecart rides to just think about that menu. It's like, right, we want sword and Gust Jar here. After this minecart ride, we get another text trigger. We're going to roll to the left past these guys. We're going to pick up and throw that pot. That middle pot there, it's important that we throw that middle pot, because that is a guaranteed bomb drop. We're always going to get a bomb drop there. And if you haven't picked up bombs before this point, when we roll into that bomb drop, it's going to give us a text trigger for being the first bomb that we picked up. Like so. Now, if you're doing glitchless, it's going to be important now that you slash this bob-omb once. We want to, probably after you've thrown the pot, you then want to, like, slash that bob-omb at the same time as, like, you pick up the bomb drop. For any percent, just ignore that guy, it doesn't matter. But it's just something to note for when you're playing glitchless. Right, now we roll over to here. Now we want to use the Gust Jar to grab one of these guys and fire them at that doorway like so. These guys move around this room randomly, so it's a lot of practice and getting used to how they move. But yeah, you want to try and Gust Jar to grab one of them. The other guy is very likely going to, like, be in the way, and you need to make sure that when you fire the guy that you picked up with the Gust Jar, when you fire it as a projectile, you don't accidentally fire it into this remaining guy, because he can block the shot, and then they both blow up and the doorway's not blown up. And then you would have to waste one of your own bombs to blow to be able to blow that up and continue. But yeah, we blow that up, and then we roll past this guy and into this room. Now, this is the Helmasaur fight. This room is rather RNG based. The Helmasaurs are going to be dashing around and moving in this room randomly, but there's 4 of these guys, and we want to kill all of them. The fastest way that we can kill, like, multiple of them at the same time is by using the Gust Jar. So we're going to pull out the Gust Jar as soon as we get into this room. But yeah, using the Gust Jar to kill these guys is great when there's multiple of them together, because we will be able to, like, kill two at a time very easily and make other ones more vulnerable so we can kill them easily. But later on, if as we pick some of them off and there's only, like, 1 or 2 left, we don't want to use the Gust Jar to kill, like, single Helmasaurs on their own. We want to try and get behind them and slash them with the sword, because that's way faster on like a 1v1 basis. But if there's groups of them, we want to be using the Gust Jar. So we start off this fight by using the Gust Jar. We hold up left, use the Gust Jar. Really bad RNG here, but like we are walking up left here, and we're gonna walk, like, up around the left hand side of that of this rock that Link is to Link's right hand side. But yeah, we're using the Gust Jar over this area here, and we're just hoping to catch as many of the Helmasaurs as possible inside the with the Gust action here. We got super bad RNG because when we started, there was 1 guy that dashed out of this area, and then there was none. But then 2 came in a little bit later. But this is a little bit. This is, like, pretty bad RNG. This is some of the worst you can expect here. Some of the best is if there's just all three hanging out in this spot here. I have never ever seen or heard of all 4 of the Helmasaurs being together here. And I'm pretty sure it's not possible. I believe even the TAS has attempted to RNG manipulate them to all be together here. I've never heard of it, and I don't think it's possible. But I would be very curious to see or hear if anyone's ever happened to get all of the Helmasaurs here. But yeah, so we keep using Gust Jar here. We keep using the Gust Jar to suck the masks off of the Helmasaurs, and also to suck up one of the Helmasaurs as a projectile. like so. Now we want to fire the Helmasaur that we have as a projectile at one of the other vulnerable Helmasaurs. The ones that we suck the mask off of are vulnerable, and if we fire the first one as a projectile, we can get a double kill by killing 2 of them. But if we fire it and set as a projectile at one of the Helmasaurs that still has its mask on, if we hit the mask section of it, if the mask is like pointed towards us as we hit that, or to the sides of it, only if like we hit it directly on the back, it will work and it'll kill it. But if we hit its mask, it won't kill the masked Helmasaur, but the projectile one will still die. But yeah, we want to try and maximize the number of ones that we're killing here. So we're going to try and kill the one that's like not got a mask here. So we're going to kill that guy. Now that we've we got a double kill there, these guys are separated, so we're going to have to kill these guys one at a time. We want to not use the Gust Jar anymore to kill these guys. We're going to use the sword instead. So the best way to kill these Helmasaurs one at a time is we wait for them to finish doing a dash, and then we go right up behind them, and we slash and hold the sword. Because these guys die in 2 sword slashes, or we're going to slash their back once and keep the button held down so that Link starts holding out the sword to start poking and like charging a spin attack. That poke is going to kill them. So yeah, like this guy is at the bottom is going to dash up and we're going to kill him. And then the guy on the top right is going to probably dash to the left and we're going to like follow it up and kill him as well. So we're going to do that kill and slash stab like so. And then as that last guy's dying, I'm going to try and walk to the middle of the room as quickly as possible. Like, when this animation finishes, we're going to get an Eslo trigger. We're going to jump up onto this Minish portal. We're going to mash R to get past the... to be able to shrink. And then we're going to do the Minish section of this dungeon. So we're going to roll over to the right here. Through here. We can't roll when we're going through these little Minish tunnels. But as soon as we exit the tunnels, we can roll. These guys are RNG. You're going to have to just figure out like the best way to roll past these guys. Ideally, you just hope for the best and hope that they go out the way, but you have to try and predict their movement, which direction they're going to move, and try and dodge them. And I'm going to roll to the right. We're going to roll over through here. We can't roll through this tunnel. Roll to the right, roll down here. We're going to roll to the left here after this tunnel. And we're going to roll down here. We're going to hop off this ledge, roll right, down, right twice, and then grow. And we've reached the first lava room. This is like the misty lava room. We walk... after we get off the Minish portal, we roll to the left, and then we like walk over all of those lava pads, and then we're gonna walk down here. When we walk down, we don't want to roll down onto this switch because there's an Eslo trigger here. So we walk down to hit this trigger. After the trigger, you're free to roll down into the switch. There's not much point in doing so, but yeah, after we hit the switch. We wait for these platforms to raise back up from under from the lava, and then yeah, we walk past the bits of lava there. We roll down here. We're gonna walk to the right, pick up this pot, throw it, walk down, and roll down. Rolling is really weird over these platforms. If you roll towards one of the platforms. When like Link is in the rolling animation and then touches the platform, it instantly cancels Link out of the rolling animation. So you can see some top runners like doing a bit of swag and messing around with it a bit by like spamming the roll there to like do like lots of mini rolls as they like traverse these platforms because they just get cancelled super quick as you're on them. But yeah, just being being safe starting out, you don't want to accidentally like roll off the platforms and into the lava. That's super bad. So you probably just want to walk over all of these lava platforms like so. But then as soon as we get past this lava platform like that, we want to roll over to the left here and over into this next room. When we get into here, we have to wait for this lava platform here. We're going to wait as far to the left as possible. We're going to like wait on the very top edge of this platform. Like you can see like Link's really hanging off the edge of this platform. If you're like super comfortable with how you understand the the collision and the standing platforms on these lava platforms, you can really like get onto the edge of them, and like I'm right on the edge here of like how far off the platform you can be. But if you want to be like, if you fall off here, it's also very bad. You lose a lot of time, so you can play it safer and just be on the middle of the platform. You're saving like frames by being as on the far edge of the platform as possible. But now we get to this rollerblade section here. We're going to roll up and to the left. Now we want to get one of these rollerblades here. And we're going to throw the rollerblade in front of this chest. And then get one of the other rollerblades to turn into a ball. Now we grab this chest, and this chest is going to have a big green rupee, and that's 50. And that's going to put us up to 71. We should have a minimum of 71 at this point. And then this is it on rupees. Both in Glitchless and any percent, we do not care about rupees anymore from this point. We're going to buy the mushroom, and then we're going to be good on rupees. Like, that's the only thing we're going to buy left in this run, is just going to be buying this, buying the mushroom. Yeah, but yeah, so any percent in Glitchless, you're done on rupees. You don't need to care about rupees at all from this point on. Yeah. So yeah, we threw one of the rollerblades in the hole to get this rock, to get that chest. We're gonna turn one of the other rollerblades into a ball and throw it into this hole. Gonna pick up and throw these pots. We got a blue rupee drop out of that. It was an RNG drop out of that pot, but both of those pots are RNG drops. We're gonna jump into this tornado and glide over to here. Here we're going to hold right, and when we were gliding there, we glided over to the left hand side so that the shadow of Link gliding was, let me go and do that again actually. The shadow of Link gliding here was like the very left hand edge of it is touching the edge of the lava. So this is like roughly where we want to align, and we want to line Link up so that like Link's main body gets to like this part here. You can either keep an eye on the shadow and see it like get in line with, you can keep an eye on the edge of the lava here and have a look at the patterns of like, it's a bit bumpy, so you can see like different parts of the textures and go, oh, I can see where I'm getting to here. And then when you get to like roughly this part here, you want to just hold right. And that's going to change Link's orientation. We want Link to be facing, as he glides and changes direction as he's gliding, he's going to change his facing direction. We want his facing direction to be directly to the right, so that when he touches this tornado, it's going to push him, like when Link touches one of the tornadoes, it will start sending him off in the direction that is his facing direction. If we were still facing down, it would push Link down, but we want to be going up here, so it saves a little bit of time to make Link's facing direction being in the right direction. But yeah, we hold up right, and then just hold up here. We can like move diagonally a bit to the right here, and we get to like this spot here, and then we we press R to drop down here. Then we're going to roll up here. We're going to push this this rock up here like so. We're going to roll over to the right and touch this switch here to open this doorway. Now, this is where I'm going to end the video. This is where the routes completely diverge between any percent and Glitchless. We're still going to finish off this dungeon, but the runs get very, very different. So all of the Glitchless videos are going to be completely on their own and different from this point on. And the same thing with any percent. But this is going to be the location of the first major glitch of the run. So this is why we're going to change it from this point here. But yeah, this first glitch is going to be the angle retention to do the minecart skip. And that will be covered in the next video. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll continue the run in the next video. See you later.